Fate of the universe on the line. I want Iguodala.
Kevin Durant. You know who I am.
Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. Is this the dagger?
Suns with the Phoenician rise to the top of the West. AD, LeBron, and all the boys have had enough rest. Jason Tatum tied Larry Legend for the Celtics top score on a week where K-Love gave up. We are back again with all the news and more on the hashtag Balls NBA podcast, your favorite NBA podcast in an Indian accent. My name is Ashwin, and if you haven't yet already, please do like, share, subscribe, and spread the love for independent India's only NBA podcast. This week in the association, Buddy Hield locked rookie Tyrese Halliburton for a reason which will make the late great Kobe Bryant smile. Steph took the monthly 3-point challenge a little too seriously, and Chris Paul made us all look again at what really makes an MVP. Speaking of titles, I've got with me, as always, someone who's visiting Cards Read CEO, CFO, CTO, and founder. Someone who had a fun time being promoted from co-host to host last week, and someone who is about $2 billion away from winning NBA Executive of the Year. My co-host, Vineet Devaya. Vineet, welcome back to the pod. I hope last week's absence was not too deterring for you.
No, it was not. I think it was a
fun episode. It was a fun episode. Also.
Yeah, it was a fun episode. Yeah. I think the guest made it much more fun than.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I wish we could have seen some of the sliding into DM, how experts slide into DMs. Like, it would have been interesting and
I don't think they're expert. I just think they're famous. So.
Oh, that's it. They're just like, hey, you up? Is that how it goes? I hope.
Yeah, that's how it goes. That's how it goes, man. That's how it goes. The non-famous people would not understand.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. I mean, I thought that my sliding game was pretty strong, but I don't think
your sliding game is strong.
I mean, I would like to think so, but I would like.
So tell us some of your sliding stories, Ashwin.
I mean, I don't know if I have many sliding stories, because I think for me it was pretty recent, right? Like usually how it would work is you go meet someone and you know them well enough to have their phone number, and then you're like, hey man, what's up? Are you up? Want to do something? Blah blah blah. On a WhatsApp, which is not. I guess it's not sliding if you have their phone number. I guess sliding would be like you randomly just hit them up.
Yes, that's what sliding means.
So, I mean, I've done my fair share. I've succeeded very little, but I have succeeded few times. So it could have been worse. It could have been zero, but it's not zero. Let's not go into that.
It's not zero. It's a positive percentage.
It's less than 2, but it's not zero. So let's just keep it at that. Let's not delve into it too much. What about you, Vineet? Is your sliding game strong?
I'm too old for that stuff. By the time I could train those muscles, I was old.
You had to have a certain level of familiarity before you could.
Yeah, that's true. And also I'm not a big fan of it, just in general. I think mostly because I think Indian men are very notorious for it. And everywhere I travel, like most women like kind of always complain about some random Indian guys are always getting into their DMs. So I never did that for that specific reason, because I didn't want to like propagate the stereotype.
Yeah, that's true. And I think it's probably true that that has pulled me back a little bit. Also, I think it never made much sense for me. I probably the generation gap thing, right? Like
generation gap, huh?
Not between me and you, but I'm saying between the sliders and me. We are probably similar generationed. So the people who slide, they are like extremely good at sliding because they are like, just slide and see what happens, right? Like we'll go out with all our all guns blazing and then see what happens. And I'm like, I can never go out all guns blazing before having known that person and let them know that this is my style of talking. People just go pound directly, and I don't think that's ever been my style. Anyway, let's move on to the NBA part of this podcast.
Well, you forgot to talk about your why we have been absent
Oh, yes, yes,
just
yes,
because
yes,
of
yes.
you
So, I
were
mean, there's this mysterious illness going around called COVID-19. I mean, it should now be called COVID-21 because it's the 21st version of it, or like 2021 version of it. I was affected by it. I was diagnosed by it, and I've been isolating myself. I, yeah, it was pretty bad. That's why Vineet had to take over. And yeah, it was a pretty tough week, but, thanks to, uh, I don't know, there's medicines as well
family.
as thanks to family medicines and a desire to not go outside and infect people. I have been able to, I can say probably that, the worst has passed, and this is the phase of the, ravaged but undeterred. Uh,
Do you think you have lost weight?
I have lost 5 kilos. The worst part is,
Nice.
no, the worst part, like, funny thing is, I just a day before I got the diagnosis, not a day, 2 days before getting the diagnosis, I was like, okay, I need to lose some weight. There's some little
Important things coming up.
important things coming up. So you need to lose some weight, need to, at least be able to, like, get into a good diet. So I hired this dietitian consultation person. And she was like, I know you need to do this, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, okay, cool, okay. And she's like, yeah, in a month, you can easily lose up to 5 kilos and it's not that difficult. And I was like, oh, well, if you're so confident, then, please hit me up. She sent me this thing. That next day, I got I got the swab thing done, and because I was feeling a little off, I got the swab thing done. That night, the result came. They're like, you have it, so you please stay away from all these things. And I was in my head, I was thinking that, my God, now the sickness might help me lose a little bit of weight. I lost 5 kilos in a week. In a week, like little more, 10 days, not even 10 days.
10 days. Yeah.
Somewhere around that time, I lost a kilo, and I called the dietitian up and said, see, listen, I can't update the progress because I've not been eating like you said, because I got COVID. And she's like, oh, okay, don't worry, just take it easy, eat these leafy vegetables, all this nonsense, and you'll be fine. Eat more protein, drink lots of water. And next day, she messages me saying, hey, same pinch, I also got COVID.
Same pinch. Did she really use the word same pinch?
She said same pinch. I mean, I can't show you the screenshot, but she did say, I'll show you the screenshot. So
Okay.
She said same pinch, I also got COVID. I'm like, okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So 5 kilos gone, and that was my aim. So I don't know. Now I have to, like, gain some weight and then go on that diet to, like, see whether the diet. Hey, come on, man, this diet's not ridiculous. Anyway, that's the reason why we were not that active.
Yes.
And see, the NBA has not stopped, so we are going to delve into the NBA, the biggest league in this world, for us at least. Yes.
For basketball.
For basketball, obviously. I'll start this off with one little trivia for you. I don't know if you know the NBA record for most points in a game by one team. I mean, same answer. One team. Do you know what is the highest score by a team in an NBA game?
Highest score, and how much did they score?
Team score.
I think it was like Detroit Pistons, 148, 149 or something.
The team is correct. The answer is wrong. This was Pistons 186 or 187 against the Denver Nuggets, who scored 184.
Oh, right. Okay.
But
it was a crazy. I remember, but I knew it was
Yeah. So
it was the Isaiah Thomas game, right?
Yes. So people keep talking about the Pistons as if they were, this defensive juggernaut who did not let anyone score points. But before the bad boys era started, these people were just run and gun and boom, 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 a lot of shots. And that's something that usually people ignore. But my other question is, what do you think is the NBA record for most points by a team in a half?
Oh.
You will be really surprised by the answer.
What's the NBA record? Huh?
NBA record for most points in a half.
I don't know. I would say like somewhere around 90.
You're wrong. It's 107.
Wow.
The Phoenix Suns scored 50 points in first quarter and 57 points in the second quarter. Again, I forgot who. I think it was against Denver Nuggets only. Denver Nuggets of the 90s just keep getting bulldozed, man.
Yes. They were a very bad team.
I think this was the Alex English team, if I'm not mistaken. Alex English again, big scorer. But yes, so that's a little trivia for you. And speaking of the Phoenix Suns, Vineet, they just today captured the first seed in the West. I don't think anybody saw that.
Defeated the Utah Jazz.
Defeated the Jazz. I think both teams are now, prime focus for the playoffs. So, but still, getting number one seed in the West last year after not making the playoffs, having not made the playoffs for a long time now. I forgot when was the last time Phoenix were in the playoffs.
2000 something.
2000, maybe. I don't even know if it was probably
2010, I think. 2009 or
probably
2010.
Probably the Suns, Stoudemire and
Steve Nash time, yeah.
Steve Nash times. So huge turnaround. My main man Langston Galloway now occupies first position in the West. So I mean, I hope he knows he's our man. And yes, just a little bit we'll talk about the Phoenix Suns. Devin Booker first time is in the playoffs. CP3 continues his legacy of uplifting teams. At least I think this must be the first team that he is part of, which is the no. I think the Houston Rockets is also number one when he was there with Harden. That year they almost beat the unbeatable Warriors.
Yeah.
I know you're a huge Chris Paul fan. I mean, can you talk a little bit about what kind of impact this is, and maybe even a little bit about his MVP credentials?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of Chris Paul. He is, we have always argued this, and you have always put Russell Westbrook above Chris Paul, and I've always put Chris Paul above Russell Westbrook. I think Chris Paul is just kind of an old school point guard, something that I prefer. Like kind of a floor general who makes everybody around him better all the time. And he's also actually a very, very good scorer, a very efficient scorer. I think he has the highest number of field goals in the
mid-range,
mid-range, as well as not only has the highest number of field goals, he also has the highest number of attempts and field goal percentage, obviously, if you do the math. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate that he hasn't won a ring, and also I think that hopefully they do well in the playoffs, and maybe they could be a surprise winner. They could be, because if I look at it, the Lakers haven't had their team well. Clippers are good, but Kawhi is injured at this point. And then you have the Nuggets and the Jazz, and Nuggets don't have Jamal Murray, so they don't really have a scorer as such. So you only have Utah Jazz that kind of has a team that has played for a long time, has been successful, has all the weapons against the Phoenix Suns. And they just recently defeated the Phoenix Suns. So out of the West, I feel very strongly for the Phoenix Suns having a good shot of coming out of the West.
Wow.
And then in the East, depending on who
East, I think
how healthy the Nets boys are.
I think the Nets boys are just like, we are chilling for now. We'll play.
No, James Harden is kind of gone, right? He hasn't come back from that injury.
I'm sure he's just waiting. He doesn't want to play these games. I think they sort of have the, either they'll be first seed or second seed. I don't think it makes much of a difference.
I think they captured the first seed, right?
No, they just qualified. So, the question was basically Jokic's team, that their the maximum that they can do this year is get to the playoffs without Jamal Murray, and unless Aaron Gordon shows up, which I personally think that this is a sign, not sign, but this is like a time where Aaron Gordon has to be like, Jamal Murray is gone, I'm going to get more shots because his shots are now up for grabs. The MPJ is the only other person who can take the shots away from me. I think given that they did bring him to be a big scorer, I think he should be able to do it. But I don't think the Nuggets are going to go much for, like, they're not going to do last year's things. That's what I feel. Do you think there's a case for Chris Paul as most valuable player? I mean, maybe not the best player on the best team, but best team. And he is the only notable addition to last year's team, which did not make the playoffs. So I mean, it's a toss up. I think that if Jokic's team was not doing this well, and if Jokic was not playing at such a high level, I think Chris Paul was the second. I think Chris Paul is number 2 for me. Okay. I think in the rankings, it's Jokic, Embiid, Giannis, and CP3, which I think is not fair.
CP3.
I think CP3 is
Yeah,
definitely
the
higher.
CP should be higher because the West is much more difficult. They've been consistent. They've shown the only knock on CP3 obviously is that he doesn't score that many points,
Okay.
and so that technically makes him not the most valuable in terms of points scored. Like he's not the top scorer in the team, right? But then on top of that, like Steve Nash has 2 MVPs from Phoenix Suns,
15,
kind
15
of a
points per game.
very
Yeah. He had
yeah, so very, very, very similar kind of trajectory where you have a, very. If you look at who Steve Nash was surrounded, it is kind of very surrounded with very versatile players that could do everything, and it's kind of very similar to the Phoenix Suns right now. So I wouldn't be mad CP3 if CP3 gets it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
I
right.
mean, as much as I would hate it because I want Jokic to win it, I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah. The Nuggets are what number?
They're number 4.
Fifth, I think.
But not by a huge margin, like just by
so,
one.
Yeah.
Almost number 3. Yeah.
Almost number 3, really.
Yeah, because the Nuggets had a very, very bad start, like almost
They
a
were
horrible start.
not even. Nuggets are number 4, and they are half a game behind the Clippers.
Yeah.
And 6 games above the Lakers. Oh wow. Oh, that I had no idea.
Yeah, the Lakers, they've been losing, right?
Yeah, but I didn't know they were like.
I mean, did you notice that your prediction of the Atlanta Hawks actually came out to be true? Somehow.
I'll tell you what happened. Okay, in the beginning of the season, I said Atlanta Hawks will do great. They did horrible. Okay, and then I was like, oh my god, this is what's happening. I went on the Hoop Darshan podcast and I said, they asked which is the prediction that you most regret making. I said I regret making the Atlanta Hawks prediction. And since
really?
Yes, and since that time, they've just they've gone back to my initial prediction of they'll do well and they'll score points and win victories. And now they are what number? Oh God,
5.
why does this number 5 in the thing? And the other thing that I talked on the Hoop Darshan podcast was how the Raptors are going to do really well, and I don't even want to talk about what the Raptors have done since then. So it's just that teams are waiting for me to say something. They're like, we'll embarrass this one guy from India who he talks too much. We'll just show him what's up.
It'd be cool if that was true, right?
Yeah, right. I can't believe the Hawks are doing so bad. The only thing that has happened that is true has been my prediction of Celtics not being any sort of contenders whatsoever. They beat amazing teams and then they lose to like the shittiest teams. And yes, number 6 is. And anyway, so yes.
But I think Celtics also had like a lot of injuries and like.
I don't think Celtics had injuries. No, I don't think.
I mean, don't you think Jason Tatum was out for a while for some reason? Was it COVID?
He had COVID, but I'm trying to think whether it was this season or like the last one. No,
I mean, a lot of people give shit to the Celtics, but like if you look at that number 4 to number 8 or 9, they're all
2 games
in and out of like
2 games.
Yeah, 2-3 games. Yeah.
4 and 7. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Celtics had a lot of COVID issues, just like the Miami Heat. So I don't really necessarily think that they're as bad as it may seem.
Yeah, but they've not played, like even when they have been fit, I don't think they've had a string of like 2-3 games, even 2-3 games where they have played like up to the potential, because Jason Tatum is amazing one-on-one scorer. Jaylen Brown is an amazing scorer. Like they have amazing scorers and they've got the right role players, but like not even 3 continuous games where they've played to their potential, not given up games to they lost to the Oklahoma City Thunder. They've lost games. They've beaten the bigger teams and all. It's I don't know what. How do you? They've lost to the Hornets also. I think Hornets.
Yeah, Hornets many times.
Like,
what do you think about the Washington Wizards? They're 9-1.
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say anything and ruin whatever little chance that they have managed to bring up. They are 9-1 in their last 10 games. They've been beating teams. I think they're
beating the teams. Yeah.
They get to that 10th spot, and then we'll talk about the play-in tournament.
Who do they play if they get in?
Okay, so wait. I have it all written down. Just a second. Yes. So as of May 1st. Hey, it's May 1st. It's May 1st something. May Day.
Labor Day.
Labor Day. Yes. So we are laboring on Labor Day. So as of Labor Day, in the East, how it will work out is Miami will play Charlotte, and whichever team wins will become 7th seed in the East. and whichever team loses will hold on to their horses.
Play for the
Now then there is Indiana versus Washington as well. I don't think there's much chance of these matchups being different. So Indiana will play Washington, and then if things go well, then Washington will play Charlotte. So that will be the 8th spot. That team will. And in the West is very interesting because we have Portland, Memphis, Warriors, and San Antonio Spurs. So
Spurs, yeah.
Spurs and Portland will play Memphis, which I think will be. I think it'll be quite disastrous if. Like after Steph's like this magnificent season, they can't even make the playoffs. I think that'll be pretty anticlimactic. I think they.
I mean, it's very possible.
It's possible, and I think
it's very possible, yeah.
Because we said at the beginning of the season that this season Steph is going to have that green signal. You do whatever you want. I mean, we'll give you the ball. You do whatever you want, and
he did it.
What a month April was for Steph Curry. Like, I don't think you could scroll through social media without seeing a bunch of his threes as highlights. Oh, Steph Curry is doing this. I'm like, yes, obviously he can do that. The reason he did not do that earlier is because there were other people who he could pass the ball to. He's like, here, Clay, you shoot. Durant, you shoot. Other people, you do this thing. And now he has nobody else to do it. I have seen the Warriors miss the most easiest layups, the most easiest plays. They run open threes, missing everything. And I'm like, yes, of course. Now you give the ball to Steph. Steph is not going to give you the ball because you're not doing anything. Who is he supposed to pass the ball to? An open Draymond Green? No. So he's going to do this. And my God, the shooting display. I think almost 100 threes in 1 month. And this April month, I think he had close to 100. I don't know if it was
90. I think 90 is something, right? Yeah.
Something very, very close to 100. And I think you had said that, this season he should be shooting 600 threes, like making 600 threes. So, we're very close to getting that sort of number. So I think it's going to be pretty anticlimactic if he can't make it because make the playoffs because, come on, man, like you have to get him there. Like
well, he has to, if he has to go through, he has to go through the Spurs, and I don't want him to go through the Spurs.
But you don't even like these Spurs.
I mean, I'm still a Spurs fan. I would like to see them in the playoffs.
Want to see them get eliminated by Utah Jazz or?
I mean, the Spurs are sneaky good, man. That's the thing. Like, even I thought they were not good, but like, if you look at most of the games they lose, they don't get blown out. It's always like very, very close, so in a 7-game series, anything can happen. And, DeMar can get hot. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying.
You don't even believe that.
Well, I believe it because he is a proficient scorer. Do you see that stat I put up on social media? Even though you say I'm not very good at social media, I've been taking care of social media account quite well.
That is because you are not good at social media, but you are a good teammate. And that's what you do.
So what was the thing? The stat was the only players since 2010 to have scored 1,000 points.
1,000 points in each season.
And who was there? DeMar DeRozan.
Westbrook and DeRozan.
Yeah. Crazy. I did not expect DeMar DeRozan to be on that thing. I thought maybe no. Steph. The problem with Steph was that the first 2 seasons he was kind of injured. So
yeah, I mean, most of the people are not there because they were injured for majority of one season. I think that's why LeBron. Why was LeBron there? I don't think LeBron was there. He was injured.
LeBron was there. LeBron, Russell Westbrook, and DeRozan.
So I mean, people who are been in that like durable mode throughout.
Yeah.
Damn. This play-in tournament starts on the 18th of May. So our daily takes will start on 18th of May. That is probably on 17th of May. We'll start with the predictions and then we'll go into each deal. There are, I think, 6 games, 3 on each conference, and the first team to win 2 of them will probably advance to the.
I hope I'm going to Croatia on Monday, so I hope my internet there is good.
Croatia. Okay, I don't know about internet in Croatia, but I'm sure it'll be good.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I will take care of it, Vineet. Why? Sometimes you carry me, sometimes I will carry you. I mean, figuratively.
I'm too funny, too fat to get carried at this point. But yeah, no, we'll figure it out. Yeah,
we'll figure that out. And yeah, I mean, okay. So this is the one question that I had. I mean, I think last week again that curse of the podcast commentary came. I think Hannah talked about how if she had to trade, she would trade Jason Tatum, and now Jason Tatum goes and scores the highest points that any Celtics has ever scored. So, Vinny, do you think this podcast curse, podcast commentator curse, is a real thing?
I definitely think it's a real thing. I think that the NBA silently listens to Ballers Bay podcast and they're like, oh, these fuckers, let's show them now.
Sitting
You
in
know,
one
I think there's
corner.
this, yeah, there's a secret agenda against us for sure.
Yes. I'm sure the
Yeah.
Washington Wizards will never win the NBA ring.
Well, I mean, do you think? I think the Wizards have a good chance of like getting into the, like I would say, semifinals. I think.
No, I don't think so. I mean, if
You don't think so?
I mean, okay, let's say let's take best case scenario, right? Best case scenario will be they'll be the eighth seed, right? Like out of the play-in tournament,
Eighth seed,
they
yeah.
win their 2 games, they become the eighth seed. Eighth seed either plays Brooklyn Nets, no, or they play the what is that other say 76ers. I think 76ers probably, okay, let's take it's either Nets or 76ers or Bucks. I don't think they match up well against any of those teams.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
The
the problem.
top three are very strong. Yeah.
So that's the thing. But you don't never know. Like one injury on one of those teams, if Durant doesn't play, then it could be like quite kind of close. Even though
Yeah, if Durant goes down,
yeah, which
then
we really don't want. But if it
yeah, I mean, but he's been not very durable. Like every time he comes back, he goes back, with some kind of injury. So I think that if Durant doesn't come back
then it'll
as
be
healthy as
interesting series because the other problem is that this what is the like Wizards have a lot of height inside, but this Brooklyn Nets have comes crazy shooting outside. Say they have some really good shooters. There, what's the guy's name? The Bruce Bowen is
Joe
there.
Harris, Bruce Brown, yeah.
Bruce Brown, Bruce Brown, Joe Harris, Tyler Johnson. They have like Landry Shamet, like so many good, people who can just get hot one day and then and the Wizards are not that durable that way. Plus, they've been winning. I mean, because I think Durant and Harden, no Kyrie. I think it's a very strong team. Durant and Kyrie, no Harden is also strong. Not as strong as Durant and Harden, but if it's just Kyrie and Harden, I think you could sort of sort of challenge them by just making them miss shots or making.
Yeah, they're not as versatile. Yeah,
letting them make it a one-on-one game and then keep your fingers crossed.
Yeah, that's true. I agree. That's. I mean, I'm hoping that the Washington Wizards create some havoc because I think that Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook can combine to create a lot of havoc. Like they both can, if they both get hot for like 2 or 3 games together, then
it'll be a close series. Then
it'll be a close series. Yeah,
have fun watching.
I mean, of all the teams that can create havoc, that's the only team that can. I mean, the others in the East are kind of just meh. Like no one's like creating havoc as such.
But you know what? This season, I think the Bucks have the best chance to do something. I think your Drew Holiday. I saw the game again. I saw the game against the 76ers. The first game where Embiid played, they whooped them. And the second game where Embiid didn't play also, they whooped them. But, the whooping was less because they're like, Embiid nahi hai, to kya karenge? Kitna marenge inko? Oh, ball was going, ball passing around here. Embiid is like, oh, I'm just one person. What do I do? And then this guy, what's his name? Brook Lopez taking him outside, splashing threes. That team good. I think Bucks.
Oh, Bucks is very good. Bucks is very, very good.
Yes,
I think
the best team in the East is if it's the Nets. Definitely, they're healthy Nets. But second team is definitely the Bucks, and there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, in a 7-game series, I think the Bucks are a much better bet than the Sixers at this point.
Oh, absolutely. Sixers, I don't think they've done much. They've got much better, but Bucks have really gotten better. So we wait. I think we just have 2 weeks, and then I think the playoffs start on May 22nd. So again.
And what about the West? What is your prediction? I mean, everything looks a little off in the West. Like the big boys, the Lakers, the Clippers haven't really played significant long periods of time together to actually be contenders. And then the the other
I
ones, the
think it's just
Trailblazers.
I don't think
and-
there's any team better in the West than the Lakers and the Clippers. I don't think so. I don't think the Suns are in
But
the.
why is this? Like I've been thinking about this a lot because everyone keeps saying Lakers and Clippers, but like these people have not played. Like Kawhi is injured. He hasn't played in the last. I mean, when he and Paul George are playing, obviously it's a great team. Even when he's alone, it's a great team. But uh, if he's not if he's not playing, he's not played for the last 10 games. Like what makes you think that they're going to come and like who are they going to play if they come in, right? They're going to play, I think, number 6,
I think
right?
Clippers will play.
So they play Mavs,
Yeah, Clippers will play the Mavs. Yes, this is the last
right?
year series.
Yeah, the last year series, and wasn't that such a
It wasn't
easy
a
series for
no,
them.
absolutely not, and that
Yeah,
was without Kristaps also.
yeah. And if they fall down a rung, if they fall down to 4, let's say the next game or 2 they lose, and
Then they
and
play
and
Lakers.
when they play Lakers, then
But even the Lakers
one of
are just half a game ahead of Mavericks and just one
Mavs.
game ahead
Yeah.
of Trailblazers. So uh,
No, but that's fine because once you add LeBron and AD, obviously the Lakers are a better team, but they haven't played enough together. I mean, even in this last game with the Lakers, you saw that like LeBron and AD both were tired by the fourth quarter. Like they
yeah,
didn't have the stamina.
but they haven't played, right? Like they've been out
Yeah.
for.
So if in 2 weeks you have the playoffs,
Mm.
right, and you're going against a team that's been playing regularly, has the stamina, knows their
But the
teamwork and
reason
all.
I feel that why I am saying that LeBron and AD will be fine is because this is not LeBron's first time to the playoffs. Like he's been
No,
in.
but he's never come to the playoffs with after such a long like hiatus from injury.
But
And
I
he's an
think
old guy.
no, I think at his age he understands that there's only so much high quality minutes that he can give, and I'm sure he's just saving it for the playoffs. I think see, like people adjust to LeBron, like people adjust to his style of play. Like right now, if they are playing, it'll be Nuggets versus Lakers. I don't think anyone will predict that like the Nuggets with only Jokic and maybe hobbled MPJ plus Aaron Gordon can. I don't think they can beat the Anthony Davis and LeBron James on Lakers because in the playoffs, the big names usually come to play.
Didn't they go for 6 games last time, or was it 5?
5 games.
5 games.
4-1. Yeah. And but that also, I mean, the Nuggets had just done like 2 consecutive 7-game series.
2 consecutive 7. Yeah, they were tired. Screwed.
Tired.
They're very, very tired.
And like Lakers defended Jokic as
Jokic.
well as they could have done. Like just
I mean, you got Anthony Davis,
Anthony
probably the
Davis,
best.
yeah, absolutely, probably best defender in the NBA. So I mean that's the reason, right? Like any team that LeBron is on, I am never
So
going to say.
after all of that, why? I mean, my point is that like I still think that there is a chance for Utah and the Suns to actually pull something off because they're the only teams that
I
have
mean,
consistently played.
they are the ones. So Utah Suns.
Like they'll play against what? Their first round will be either against the Warriors, the Memphis, or Portland, right? Let's say, or Spurs.
Spurs, yes.
I think that's easy, like for them. They
I
have
think so.
proved that they can do it.
Yeah.
Unless like that Dame does Dame things and Steph does Steph thing, but still it's very difficult for a 7-game series, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Right. And
Jazz,
so
Jazz also will play one of those teams only, like either
yeah.
Blazers.
I feel like the Clippers, Mavs, Lakers, and Nuggets will kill themselves. Like one of them will kill themselves in the first round itself, and by the time they get to the second round, they will be kind of exhausted with the first round because the first round is going to be very difficult in the the 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not going to be an easy playoff round.
Yeah.
So if let's say even if Clippers and Lakers come out of the first round, they will be very, very banged up and tired, and without much game experience.
Oh, they're not going to pay each other.
And they have to go against Utah Jazz and Phoenix Suns, who are pretty good. So I mean, I feel like we have to take in consideration in the West that the 2 best teams haven't played quality time, and they will go against better teams in the first round. Like they're not going against bad teams.
Yeah, I'm not I'm not saying that your logic is wrong. I'm just saying that I think you're giving Suns and Jazz little too much respect. Like Jazz have all like they've played well. They've never played this well. They've never got like top seeding in the West and all that. That's obviously a regular season amazing thing for them to do. Even if they are second, that's still like one of the best seasons in years. But I don't think they have uh, anything to scare the Lakers or the Clippers. I don't think any of those Clippers, because last year's disaster, they might try to be a little more strong this time. But I don't think they have anything to scare the Lakers. Because healthy Lakers, I feel it doesn't matter that they don't have not played much against each other. As long as Lakers are healthy, AD and LeBron are there, and Schroeder plays, I think that's all that they require. I think they have enough on the offensive side and the defensive side to ensure that they can stop any of these teams. That's what I feel. I don't think that Jazz or the Suns have enough playoff experience. I mean, that group does not have enough playoff experience to be like, no, today we can turn up and we can beat the Clippers. I mean, the Clippers or the Lakers.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, that's the only reason, right? Like, I'm sure if they do something, then it'll be fun to watch, because I don't think anybody expects a LeBron team to not reach the finals. So I don't think we've seen that also. I don't think.
Yeah, we've never seen that. Yeah.
Never seen that.
So, I mean, never bet against LeBron. You know me. I've never bet against LeBron.
On that note, this is it for this episode. It's it's a playoff concentrated edition of this episode, and we are gonna come back again next week with new stories and stuff. Please check us out on Instagram, wherever you are in. Let us know who you think will be the biggest surprise in the Western Conference playoffs and the Eastern Conference playoffs. And I mean, the play-in tournaments are happening in 2 weeks, so we will catch you before then as well, and then as well. So yeah, without further ado, me say bye-bye.
Bye.